This valuation slide captures Intel perfectly. Not as a normal compounder but as a turnaround stock that the market keeps repricing based on credibility. Intel's historical success was real. It dominated PCs and servers for years and built one of the deepest semiconductor manufacturing footprints in the West. But the big historical mistake, both by management and investors, was assuming that leadership would naturally persist. It did not. Process delays, the loss of manufacturing leadership, weak positioning in AI accelerators, and a heavier capital structure turned Intel from a premium franchise into a repair story. That is why the chart shows such a brutal collapse in normal value. After 2021, the market stopped paying for legacy strength and started demanding proof. Now to the present. Intel is around $63.80, far above the lows on your chart, which tells you the market is no longer pricing pure failure. But it is also not pricing a finished recovery. Q4 2025 revenue was $13.7 billion, full-year revenue was $52.9 billion, and Intel said it ramped Intel 18A into high-volume production in 2025. At the same time, January guidance disappointed investors, with Reuters noting the company was struggling to fully meet AI-related server demand and that margins were still under pressure. So today's price reflects something very specific: belief that Lip-Bu-Tan may be stabilizing the story, but not certainty that Intel has truly earned back a premium multiple. The next checkpoint is close, with Q1 2026 results scheduled for April 23. Looking forward, the upside case is obvious, but it is execution dependent. Intel now has several things the market can work with. 18A is no longer just a slide promise. Management is actively revisiting how aggressively to offer that node to external customers. Intel agreed to buy back Apollo's stake in the Ireland fab, and it just expanded its Google partnership around Xeon CPUs and custom IPUs. In other words, the future path is no longer just cut costs and hope. There is an actual framework: restore manufacturing credibility, improve foundry economics, and prove Intel can still matter in AI infrastructure. But that is also the lesson of the chart. Intel should not be valued like a guaranteed comeback. It should be valued like a company with real assets, real scars, and a narrow path back to higher quality. Bottom line, today's price reflects rising belief, but not yet full trust. If 18A, foundry discipline, and AI-adjacent demand keep improving, the stock can still grow into a higher valuation band. If not, this remains a trading recovery, not a true re-rating. Let's go straight into the risks, because with Intel, the question is not whether the company still has important assets. It does. The real question is whether the turnaround can be executed fast enough, cleanly enough, and profitably enough to justify renewed investor confidence. That is what makes 2026 so important. Intel says 18A entered high-volume manufacturing in late 2025 and is expected to become a key node for future client and server products. But the whole recovery case depends on yields, product execution, supply and customer adoption improving together. And the near-term financial backdrop is still fragile. Intel guided Q1 2026 revenue to $11.7 billion to $12.7 billion and non-GAAP EPS to $0. The second major risk is the foundry strategy itself. Intel openly says it has few external customers to date, and its own 10-K goes even further. It says the company has been unsuccessful so far in securing any significant external foundry customer for any node. More importantly, Intel warns that if it cannot secure a significant external customer for Intel 14A, it may pause or discontinue next-generation leading-edge nodes. That would be a huge strategic setback, because Intel also says future dependence would shift more toward third-party foundries such as TSMC, where it has no long-term contract. Competition is another massive risk. Intel says the industry is highly competitive and expects that environment to intensify in 2026. It explicitly admits it has lost market share in recent years in both client and data center x86, and more broadly in semiconductor compute products. It also says the shift of data center spending toward GPUs for AI workloads has hurt its data center business, and that it has been unsuccessful so far in becoming a meaningful participant in that market. That is the core strategic risk. Intel is trying to rebuild process leadership while also defending share in markets that are moving very fast. Then there is the financial and operational pressure. Intel says leading-edge manufacturing is highly capital-intensive, and as of year-end 2025 it still had $34.5 billion in construction-in-progress assets and $47.2 billion of debt outstanding. It also warns that as those assets enter service, depreciation will rise, and if revenue does not scale enough, gross margin and operating income will be hurt. On top of that, the company said 2025 results were affected by supply constraints on Intel 7 and Intel 3, and that some of those constraints could persist into 2026. Finally, geopolitical and organizational risks matter. Intel says tariffs, trade barriers, and tighter export controls can raise costs, reduce competitiveness, and disrupt demand, while tensions around China and Taiwan create additional supply chain risk. At the same time, Intel has gone through substantial headcount reductions and repeated leadership changes, and the company itself warns that these can hurt morale, recruiting, and execution. Intel's 2026 risk is not a lack of opportunity. It is that too many things have to go right at once. Process execution, product competitiveness, foundry traction, margins, and capital discipline. If one of those breaks, the re-rating can reverse very quickly. Now the opportunity side, because with Intel, the upside is not just about surviving the turnaround. It is about changing the narrative from repair story to relevant technology platform again. And that shift can happen faster than many investors expect if the product cycle, manufacturing milestones, and capital allocation all start reinforcing each other. Intel already has one major near-term lever, Panther Lake. At CES 2026, the company launched Core Ultra Series 3 as its first AI PC platform built on Intel 18A, and said it is expected to power more than 200 designs across laptops, gaming handhelds, robotics, and industrial edge devices. That matters because Panther Lake is not just another chip launch. It is proof that Intel can turn 18A from a promise into visible commercial products. A second short-term opportunity is that Intel's AI story does not have to be only about GPUs. The April 2026 Google announcement matters because it reinforces the role of Xeon CPUs and custom IPUs inside real AI infrastructure, while the Cisco partnership shows Intel also has a path at the edge where inference and distributed AI workloads will grow. That gives Intel a more practical opportunity set, not winning every flashy accelerator headline, but becoming indispensable in the systems that actually run and scale AI. There is also a cleaner financial angle to the bull case. Intel has been simplifying the portfolio by selling 51% of Altera to Silver Lake to focus on the core business, and in April 2026 it agreed to repurchase Apollo's 49% interest in the Ireland Fab joint venture, explicitly tying that move to a stronger balance sheet, improved financial discipline, and growing CPU relevance in the AI era. In other words, Intel's upside is no longer only technical. It is also about becoming a more focused and more coherent company. Longer term, the biggest opportunity is strategic. Intel Foundry's 2025 update showed a broader roadmap around Intel 18AP, 18APT, 14A, Foveros MIB, and a growing partner ecosystem that includes Amkor and the new chiplet alliance. If Intel can keep building that ecosystem while scaling leading-edge manufacturing in the US, it can become something the market may eventually pay a premium for again. Not just a PC/server chip vendor, but a domestic advanced manufacturing and system integration platform. Key takeaway: Intel's upside is bigger than a normal cyclical rebound. If 18A products land, Xeon stays relevant in AI systems, and the company keeps getting leaner and more focused, the stock can move from turnaround trade toward a real re-rating story. Analyst sentiment on Intel is clearly cautious. Out of 48 ratings, 33 are holds, only 9 are on the buy side, and 6 are negative. So the street is not calling Intel broken, but it is also far from confident. That fits the story. Intel is still seen as a company with major assets, important technology, and real turnaround potential. But analysts also know this is a very execution-heavy recovery. Too much still depends on manufacturing progress, product competitiveness, and whether management can turn the strategy into sustainable earnings improvement. So this is really a wait-and-see rating profile. Most analysts are not betting aggressively against Intel, but they also do not want to chase the stock until they see more proof that the recovery is becoming real. Wall Street sees Intel as a possible comeback story, but right now, it is treating it much more like a turnaround under review than a proven winner.